and welcome back to Minemage. In this episode of Ars Magica and Blood Magic, we'll be looking at making ourselves a few new spells, and even a spellbook to hold all those pesky spells taking up our hotbar. We'll also be looking at a new kind of thing I noticed crashing into the server just the other day, and we'll work on making some mana potions, because goodness, we always hate running out of mana. It just makes everything really annoying. Now, as far as blood magic goes, we're going to work on the Tier 2 altar, making ourselves a new blood orb, which of course would come with that altar, as well as a sacrificial dagger, so we're not always being the ones to cut ourselves, of course. And we're gonna actually, I meant to show off the lava crystal when I made the lava sigil in the last episode, but I wasn't very specific with it, so I'm gonna go ahead and show off a little bit more of that. Alright, let's get right into it. Alright, so as far as spellcrafting goes, we're going to work ourselves into the Oculus. Now, as you can see, I'm currently at level 14. That's the upper blue set of numbers above my regular level, and that's my Ars Magica level. I have 6 blue orbs. I haven't used any of them because I haven't focused on using this Oculus during the other videos, but I have been using my dig spell and my fireball spells just to get my levels up while I've been doing the other ones. Everything's kind of working together. That way I can advance a little further and not have to work my way into it when I get back to it. So what we're going to first work on is making ourselves some self spells, because we've been using projectile spells already, but I've already taken up the touch. So what I need to learn, I need to go into the defense and learn self. And now, since we've got these open, it of course branches over, and we'll learn leap and regeneration. Now I also have slow fall available, as well as heal, which is also a pretty good spell. What do we got here? Shrink? That's Shrink. I'm gonna take Shrink. That sounds awesome. Are you kidding me? We can shrink? Hell yeah. Okay, what do we got here? Place block, no thank you. Feather touch. That allows you to silk touch break blocks, so I could like pick up a piece of sand, or a piece of grass, why did I say sand? Using the dig spell, rather than just breaking it into a piece of dirt, which is pretty useful. Now, if we look over here in the affinity tab, just to take a quick look at this, this will show you what affinities you are currently going towards. Now, if I say highlight one of these, you see that it has a little stone there. That's the earth affinity. This one does not have an affinity. This one doesn't either. This one looks like the herb affinity. I'm not sure what that's called. But basically, whenever you use a spell, it will build you towards that affinity. Here's the Harvester affinity, and those 3 things are what happens as you get through the certain levels, rooted being the ability to climb up walls. Now, currently, I have Stone Skin and Solid Bones. When it comes to, oh no, it's called Stone Skin, I'm sorry. I have Solid Bones, which gives me a slight defense buff, because I've been using mainly my dig spell, Diglet. But we came here to see me craft spells, not really to see me talk about them. So, let's see. Do I have any more damage spells I want to get? Magic damage and lightning, no thank you. It's always good to keep up on your offensive spells. So, actually, I think I've got 2 more left. If I do lightning, I can't do storm. Can't do blind. I can do frost if I take magic. Can I do ignition? That's a green. You start getting greens after level 20, I believe, but you can find them, and as well as reds. And you can see the skill points up here. I'm mousing over them, and you can't see my mouse, of course, but on the top right, you see the 2, a 0, and a 0. Those are the different color and different kinds of skill points that you can have. You can find them in chests, just like I did the first blue one. Okay, we're going to take on heal, and for shiggles, we're going to take on lightning. Okay. So now we've got a few different spell aspects. Let's go ahead and make ourselves a written book, or 2 or 3 or 5, who knows. Alright, 1, 2, 3 written books later, we've got ourselves the ability to make some spells. So let's go over here real quick. Now you can upgrade the inscription table, but we'll work on that in the next video. I'm not going to have the time to cover everything that I want to cover right now. So, but the ability to upgrade allowed you to have these 3 slots open, which will allow you to, and it's 3 upgrades, so it's 1 upgrade per slot. And it'll allow you to make much more complex, more aggravating spells. So we're going to do self. See, we're going to make a regeneration spell, so we're going to do self and then regeneration. Simple as that. Oops, forgot these go down here. Alright, removing the recipe will finalize it. We will name this one Heal. Simple enough. Okay, so we've got 3 spells, 2 of which I forgot to name, because I'm a genius. Can I put that back? No. No. Wait. No. No. Okay. Obviously can't. Alright, so let's see what we're going to need for these spells here. So this one is the first healing spell. And we'll see... Now remember, if you'll recall, I grew up this tree here. It's a very lovely tree. All from that one little witch water pool. And it's been producing me quite a bit of alm. So I'm good to go as far as healing spells, because it's what's required for them. So what I need is 1 blank rune, 1 alm, 1 Vintium dust, 1 lesser focus, 500 neutral... 1 blue rune, 1 golden apple, and a spell parchment. Now, that is something that I forgot about when it comes to making healing spells, is that you have to start infusing more powerful spells with certain kinds of essence. And in order to make a neutral essence, I need to make something called a obelisk, I believe. Yeah, here we go. 1 obelisk, which requires chiseled stone bricks, Vintium dust, and stone. And luckily, I've got a bunch of stone on me. And a chiseled stone brick, and we get 1 obelisk. Now, let's see. Arcane Compendium, structures, crafting altar. There's got to be something. Maybe, hold on. Let me try doing this. Ah, here we go. New entry. Got it. Sometimes you just got to pick stuff up. Okay. So we got the crafting altar, the blank aurum, and an obelisk. Alright, there we go. So this is how we start making neutral essence. Okay, so the next thing that it wanted us to make was a crystal wrench. And I've got the recipe pulled up here. It'll take 3 iron ingots, a little bit of Vintium, a desert nova, and a syrup blossom. Now, these are all flowers you can find scattered throughout the world. Desert nova, of course, needs to be found in the desert. Syrup blossom you can find pretty much in any biome as long as it's got some forestry to it. Not too hard to locate, really. Okay, let me grab the Vintium dust that I already have, maybe? Maybe not. There it is. I see it. It's so small and blue, it's just hard to notice. Okay, so we go Vintium dust in the middle, Syrup blossom on the right, Desert nova on the left, and 3 bits of iron here, here, and here, and there we go. We have 1 crystal wrench. It's getting good. We're getting all kinds of little devices going. Now, the crystal wrench is used basically to, if you've ever played with the tech mod, it's the thing that you use to link one machine to another. Simple as that. This will allow us to tell where the magic is going to channel and what it's going to channel to. So as you see here, it says it can be used to power Ethereum through the network. Right-click on the first source of Ethereum you want to use, then right-click on the destination while holding the wrench. There's no need to click on Ethereum conduits along the way, just click on the final block. Oh, okay. So we may also need to make some Ethereum conduits, but we'll work on that a little bit later. Okay, so we get 8, 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, that's right. Okay, good. So we seem to have everything ready to make ourselves an obelisk. Now, the only other thing we're going to need is to make, to get ourselves more of that liquid Ethereum. See, that liquid Ethereum is going to be eaten up quite rapidly by the obelisk. Whenever it cooks, I believe it makes 1,000 worth of the power that the Ethereum utilizes. I'm not sure what the power is called. I think it's just called the Ethereum network. And we're gonna need quite a lot of it, actually. Not for this first spell, of course. This first spell will be just enough. Okay, so how many block spaces is it apart? Let's see. 1, 2. Is it 3? It looks like 3. Okay. So we're gonna do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 2. Oop, crap. Piglet. Aha. 2, and then 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Pop. You see the neutral obelisk is going to be a very, very simple look. It's just stone. It's just gray. It's not very pretty. So we're going to set the obelisk in the middle here, and then we're going to draw a chalk line around it, if I'm not mistaken. I'm simply going by the book. I could be wrong. Let me see here. Display behavior. Pause. Let's see. The pillars are another upgrade. Oh, so you didn't have to do the pillars. That's just an upgrade to it. Oh, here we go. If I switch here, I can switch to the layers. There we go. So I could have just used the obelisk. These upgrades are not required for the obelisk to function. Okay, so the obelisk is working now, so what we can do is right-click and we see a little, basically a furnace interface. And unfortunately, since this is the only Ethereum around here right now, I'm going to have to borrow the Ethereum from the tree. It's not really going to affect its production of alm, but it's really not going to affect anything, really. Okay, so we'll throw that in there, and you see it's already burning up. I can take my bucket out, and there's the Ethereum crafting as usual. So we know that we have to power the altar with it, so we're going to take the crystal wrench and right-click this, And you see I've got a particle effect called Hellish Aura. I don't know why. I guess that's the 25 seconds you have to link it to another machine. And I will right-click the crafting altar. No path was found between the selected nodes. And I've still got the Hellish Aura. That's no good. Alright, so I broke down and went ahead and made myself the Magitech staff and the Magitech goggles, which I must say look pretty fly. So if I look over here using the staff and the goggles, I can just use the goggles, good. And I can see this thing is 100% full with 5,000 Ethereum, and that was from that one bucket, which is actually pretty impressive. So if I right-click it, it just says Detected Neutral Ethereum, and the altar block is the one that we're specifically going to be pointing to. See, if I look at anywhere else in the altar, it won't matter. But if I look at this one, we have no dark essence, no light essence, and no neutral essence. Neutral being the darker blue, light being the lighter blue. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a path using these Ethereum conduits. Knock that out real quick, just to be on the safe side, because I want nothing causing any issues. So we'll put one Ethereum conduit here, and one Ethereum conduit here, just to be on the safe side. And now this should allow it to create a path to the altar. So we're going to right-click. We're going to right-click this, and then we're going to right-click this. Pairing successful. Hallelujah freaking Luya. Alright, so what's going to happen is when this starts channeling energy, it's going to channel it through this conduit here, and then this conduit's either going to simply bypass this conduit and go straight to this, or it's going to already... Oh god! Son of a... Let's go ahead and start making ourselves some spells using neutral essence. So we need a blank rune, Vintium Dust, a lesser focus, blue rune, a golden apple, holy shit, and a spell parchment. Alright, I'm going to collect everything that I need to make each one of these spells, and I'll come right back and we'll just power through them. Sounds good to me? Sounds good to you. Hot damn, there we go. Alright, I think I've got pretty much everything together, so let's go ahead and make ourselves a few spells. So we're going to start with the healing spell. Now the reason I'm showing off creating these spells is simply to reinforce the idea of how they're made. You're going to need to, more advanced spells anyways, you're going to need to pump some of this stuff, some Ethereum. You'll have Dark Essence, Light Essence, and Neutral Essence, which is made from the liquid Ethereum. You're going to need to pump some of that into the altar in order to make everything work out just peachy keen, whatever. And we're going to use this altar to craft ourselves some spells. Now, this altar is a basic altar. If you try to craft a spell that's too complicated, it will explode, and it will be very violent. So let's hope for our sake that we haven't tried to make anything too complicated. I will be upgrading this altar a little bit later, and you can check out the upgrades throughout the Arcane Compendium. You can see in my inventory here I have a blue rune. It's not been textured on the stacks thing, so I'm going to have to check out and see why that's not showing up. I'll have it fixed by next episode, but... Alright, let's get into it. So what we're going to need here is a blank rune, Vintium Dust, Lesser Focus. Well, as long as we throw in the first thing, it will tell us what we need for the next stuff. So, one blank rune. There we go. And one Vintium Dust. One Lesser Focus. There's the Neutral Essence, and it's already taken up. See, it pulled the lever up, so we'll pull the lever back down. One blue rune. One golden apple. And one spell parchment. And there we have our healing spell. So we're going to right click this one, and we're going to give it something to the effect of, I love all these things. So let's use one of these cool little healing hearts. Let's use this one right here. So this is kind of a low level healing spell. Alright, and there we go. So if we happen to hurt ourselves, and this is a regeneration spell, this isn't just instant healing. Ow. We right click, and look at that. Get a little bit of regeneration. Now it pumped my burnout all the way up to full. In love. That's interesting. Strange. Well, as you can see, it costs about 500 mana. It's pretty expensive actually for a spell, but that's okay. So we'll shift right click that, pull that spell off. Heal is done. So we're going to do this spell recipe. I believe this is for lightning damage and shrink. Yes, this is our second offensive spell. So, as usual, start off with a blank rune, and it will take away from there. One Vintium Dust. An arrow. A snowball. Now this is simply because the arrow and the snowball are modifiers that imply to it being projectile. Yellow rune. Piece of iron. A stick for some reason. One more Vintium Dust. A mushroom. Uh-oh. Okay, so barring that hiccup and the odd thing with the mycelium, I was able to get myself a hold of a couple of brown mushrooms. So, throw that in there, thank goodness. Now it needs a button, I have no idea why. One bone, and gold nugget, this is a long one. Spider's eye, a mana cake, now these are pretty cool. I can show you the recipe for these really quick if my thing will work. It's just a little bit more of Desert Nova and Sarah Blossom, some sugar and some wheat, and you got yourself a mana cake. You use these to do kind of a mana restore buff, but we'll worry about that a little bit later when I'm showing off the ability to make mana potions, which are going to be a lot better. Alright, so we'll right click on this, and this is our lightning shrink. So we're going to call this one, I don't know. Oh, I got it. We'll call it Tiny Thunder. Perfect. And we'll give it the Tiny Thunder. There we go. Perfect. So let's see what this thing does to something. Here's a cow. Oh, okay, maybe a little too strong. Wow, that did some impressive damage, actually. If you recall from the first episode, this fire spell didn't do nearly that much damage. I need something that can survive being hit. Here we go, spider. Oh. Wow, it's impressive damage, but I don't think he's going to shrink. I guess shrinking only applies to, me. That's a shame. Oh well. There's no way I can move faster than this projectile, so I'm not going to be able to shrink myself. I bet if I had another player in here, that would be pretty cool. I bet I could shrink them and give them some lightning damage. Alright, so let's go ahead and work on our final spell. This one, let's see, shift right click that, throw that in there, and this one was our shrink regeneration spell. So this one is the one that makes me shrink, which is exactly what I wanted. Okay, so as usual, we're just going to go ahead and throw in a blank rune. There we go. I'm going to make it to where I can kind of see that flower there. One Ventium dust, one lesser focus, some essence is going to be starting pumping in there in a second. There we go. One mushroom, a buton, a bone. Oh crap, I didn't grab another bone. Throw the bone in. Kablam. Now you can walk through this, by the way. Doesn't matter. One golden nugget. Okay, one spider's eye. One mana cake. What is that? Another blue rune? Okay, terribly sorry about that. Here we are. I thought I had everything prepared, but I guess I must have double read a couple of them. Alright, there we go. So that is one self... what does this do again? Shrink and regeneration. So we've given ourselves a shrink and regeneration spell. Now we're going to make this one have, just to differentiate it, we're going to give this one a... I don't know. Let's give it a leaf. Why not? And we'll call this one Tiny Heal. Tiny Heal. I don't know why I spelled it like that. Tiny Heal. There we go. Alright, so we right click. Whoa! Ho! Holy cow! Look at me! Hold on. Can I have 5? Am I tiny? Oh my god, look at me! Oh, that's amazing! Look! Oh, I'm gonna walk right under you. You can't do nothing about it. I'm so small. He's so fast. Look at him go. Oh my god, this is the greatest spell I've ever seen. Like, no kidding. How long does this last? Absorb magic. 1, 0. Whoa, look at me sprout up. Let me right click again. Woo! Oh my god, this is the best. Look at this. I so wish I could do this to mobs. It would make them so funny. Oh my god. I could do some serious hidden rooms and stuff with it. Like, imagine the possibilities. Imagine drowning in 1 block of water. How terrible is that? But imagine the possibilities. Like, hold on, I need to go back to first person. Back to first person. I'm living in a giant's kingdom. Oh, what is this? What are all these huge archaic tables? I can't read any of them. Look at these robes, they must be for a giant man. Oh my god. This is honestly the best spell that I have ever made. I think I'm gonna stop using my heal spell and just start using this one. Oh my god. Alright, that's some really cool stuff. That is the best spell ever. Okay. Let's run out back real quick. I'm surprised I don't have to jump up the stairs. There we go, I've gotten bigger again. Okay. Whew, feeling really Benjamin Button there. Alright. Benjamin Button aged backwards, I don't know why I said that. So we go back here. And I noticed this thing fell out the other day. This is what's known as Moonstone. It's a meteor that comes along and wrecks things. Now, it will only break things that aren't man-made, which is really useful. Like, since I planted this farm, it won't touch any of it. Since I made that house, it won't crash a meteor into it. It might crash next to it, but it will never destroy the blocks. And moonstone is used for, I think, only one use as I'm aware. 2 uses. You can use this to make caps on your altar, which are pretty high tier caps. But you can also use it to make what's called a crystal phylactery. And this phylactery allows you to store mob essence, essentially souls, in order to eventually be able to summon that mob to work for you. For instance, you can have a skeleton that will attack people for you when you summon it. But that's later on, making a summon spell. That's really, really late tier stuff, because summon spells are one of those red icon items. So I'm going to go ahead and throw our spell books in here and in here, just to keep everything organized. I might end up reorganizing that stuff later. Excuse me, I couldn't talk for a second. But now we'll move on to the final part of our presentation for Ars Magica, in that I'm going to make what's known as a spell book, which will store all of these little hotbar spells and allow us to cycle through them a little better. So, spell book, there we go. And this is made with 4 leather, 2 paper, and 3 string. Really easy recipe. Not going to be hard at all to get a hold of. Look at that. There's 3 string right there. Look, I already have 3 string in my inventory, just from killing spiders. Like, holy cow. That's how easy it is. But, ladies and gentlemen, this is how easy you can have it. You know, just making yourself some really cool stuff. Now, oof. Let's see. I'm sorry, Mr. Cow. You know, I might as well use my lightning spell since I figured out it's so powerful, but that's okay. Alright, we're out here anyways. There's a crafting bench, so let's make ourselves... Oh, one more ingredient. I almost forgot you yet again. I'm sorry, I'm usually much more prepared for these videos. I thought I was prepared, honestly. I had everything together, and then everything fell apart. But that's okay. Stuff happens. Everybody moves on. So we'll go ahead and throw this stuff in here, throw this stuff in here. Bam! We have a spellbook. What does this say? Warning, if you're going to die this, remove your spells first. That is indeed true. If you happen to do something called Soulbound, which is a enchantment spell, it will remove every spell that's in it to make it into a new item. And if you happen to dye it, it will do the same thing. Actually, I didn't really know you could dye this book. So I'm going to do that real quick. I think I've still got some blue dye left over. If you haven't figured out yet, I really like the color blue. Look at that! Blue spellbook. Hot damn, that's awesome. Alright, so we shift right click and we'll open this huge UI. Now this is your hotbar, but these will store all of your spells that you happen to have. So we'll just throw all of our spells in there. Firebolt, Diglett, Tiny Thunder, Heal, and Tiny Heal. Probably won't use Heal. Probably just stick with Tiny Heal. And there we are. And you can see in the top left corner, as long as I have the book equipped, see it's gone now. But we have the top left corner and you can see I've got this little hotbar that shows off all of the pictures that I picked for my spell. And as long as I shift scroll, see, if I regular scroll, it'll just move stuff. But if I shift scroll, I can go through my spells. And I can even move, so no worry on that. And I'll just pick up... seems to only want to show off the name once or twice. Ah, there we go. Tiny Heal, Firebolt, Diglett. Only if I scroll through really fast. So I've got to get used to which one's which. And there we go. Look at that. We've got our spells in a row. We've got all this space now. We eat ourselves a mana cake. Ah, delicious. And see, that'll give me what's called a Hellish Aura, which I believe will make my mana come back a lot faster. Look at that. It's coming back by 100 increments. That's pretty impressive. And that's just for a little mana cake. What we're going to do is we're going to make now what's called a mana potion. And this is going to be a lesser mana potion. You can upgrade them pretty easily. P-O-T-I-O-N. Here we go. Let's see, we're going to make this little tiny bottle down here. Lesser mana potion. It's really easy. Sugar, seeds, and any kind of regular potion. So we'll grab our seeds. I think I have some sugar cane. Actually, I think I had a bunch in here. It's at 10. There we go. Just to make it even, but we only have 3 potions. Now what I've done here is I went ahead and made some mundane or some awkward potions, because it doesn't matter. You just have to use any kind of pre-brewed thing. And there we are, one lesser mana potion, excuse me. That one there, and that one there. Now, the cool thing about these is, if I happen to want to not have to, as you see, they don't stack, but what I can do, instead of taking up 3 individual inventory slots, is I can stick them together and tie them up, and I get a lesser mana potion bundle. which gives me 3 uses, you know, 1 of each basically. We're also going to go, I feel like upgrading this to a standard meta potion, so we're going to give it a little bit of gunpowder apparently. So gunpowder, 3, there we go. And it's a simple crafting, just the same. Lesser meta potion, bam, standard meta potion. Bam, standard meta potion. Kablam, a standard meta potion. As you go higher, they allow you to get more, up until legendary meta potion, which will basically make it to where it will automatically fill your stuff up as quickly as physically possible. I think we can go up 1 more, can't we? Standard to Ventium Dust. I've got 8 Ventium Dust. Let's keep it going. Let's keep this train rolling, baby. Greater and greater and greater. Now we're going to stop. Oop, I pulled the wrong thing out. We're going to stop at the graders because I don't have the rest of the stuff to make the better stuff, because it's going to require a little bit of advanced crafting. But we'll stick with 3 greater mana potion bundle. And what we're going to do is we're going to fire off every bit of the strongest spell that we have, which I believe was the healing spells. So I'll use Tiny Heal twice. Look at that. It sucked every... Holy cow. Did I just float? Hang on a second. I did. Oh my god, no way. No effing way. I can't take fall damage while I'm tiny because I'm so small. I love it. That is the greatest spell ever. I'm sorry. Anyways, showing off the greater mana potions. We're going to suck one of those down. And there we go. It just immediately, instantly refilled everything. And I'm going to use Tiny Heal again. And look at that. I've got Hellish Sword, Absorbs Magic, and In Love. And look, it pumped it right back up. Do it again. Pumping it right back up. Look how quickly my mana is coming back. So these things are going to be really useful. It's going to be something that you want to carry around all the time. If you notice, actually, that sound effect came in like really tiny because it said I learned a new thing. Look at me. Look at little me. I'm just in the middle of the screen on fire. Yeah. Alright. I love this mod so much. This is awesome. I've never really played with Ars Magica like this before. Okay, let's move on to Blood Magic. Alright, to start off Blood Magic, I'm going to show off something that I kind of neglected before, which is called the Lava Crystal. Now, if you can recall, the crafting recipe for it wasn't too hard. A little bit of obsidian and a diamond and some lava buckets and glass, and basically any kind of blood orb. Now, I simply jetted through that and used it to make this lava sigil, which is a pretty cool thing. But what really needs to happen, and I'll show you, I have 4100 LP. What really needs to happen with it is that, just like it says, you need to just kind of stick it in a furnace, right there, and now I can use my blood essence to cook things. So instead of wasting coal, I simply waste a little bit of blood essence. And as you see, it's per item 4075. Now wait for that to finish up. I think it took about 100 LP for me. There we go. See? Nope, it's 25 LP. And that's not too bad, actually. It's a pretty good cost for cooking up things basically for free. Just to use a little bit of blood. And I can always pump more stuff into the LP pool using my blood orb. The blood orb is going to get fantastically better. What we're going to do is we're going to open this area up a little bit and make ourselves what's known as a second tier altar. Now I think the altar goes all the way up to tier 5, maybe even tier 6. It gets very powerful. We need to make what's known as blood runes. And what we need to do that is we need to make some blank slates utilizing stone inside of the altar. We've made these before, same thing we used to make the water sigil and the fire sigil, stuff like that. And just gonna make sure I got enough in there. Heal up, eat up. And there we go. Come on, craft. There we go. Alright. It's very simple to make this, and I've already made quite a few just to kind of get myself started on it. So to make a blood rune, you simply do this little crafting recipe here, some stone on top, stone on bottom, and 2 blank slates. In total, you're going to need 16 blank slates in order to upgrade your altar to a tier 2. Now we're going to go ahead and bust the floor out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now you don't have to worry about the center block because it's not going to matter. Luckily, this particular multi-block structure isn't too picky on blocks within the system. So if I right-click on it, it'll say now that it's a tier 2 altar. It has a 10,000 LP capacity, which actually didn't change. That's its constant capacity. But I do have a much higher cap when it comes to the essence that I can hold. I believe it jumps from 5,000 to 25,000, or perhaps 10,000 to 25,000. I can't quite remember, but I know it's a significant jump that makes it well worth the wait. Not to say there was much of a wait to begin with. So the next thing we're going to work on, since we've got this fancy new blood altar, and we need to make ourselves now a new blood orb. So, utilizing that knowledge, see, blood, and see, we'll never get rid of our old blood orbs. We can always have them. We won't be upgrading them. We'll just be making new ones. I believe it's the apprentice blood orb. Yes, we need to throw an emerald into the tier 2 altar. Eventually it's going to get to the point where you're going to have to specifically start pumping blood into this thing because this altar will simply never hold enough. There we go. Look at that. 1 apprentice blood orb. Perfect for just what we need. Now the next thing we're going to do, but we're going to go ahead and what we're going to do is we're going to throw this iron sword in here since we've got this tier 2 altar. And this is going to make it to where I'm not going to have to bleed myself any longer. Well, I mean, I may. It probably will still be a good idea to keep bleeding myself, but this will allow me to bleed other things. Now, if you notice, I have a little cow farm over here. Cows aren't exactly worth the LP that I'll be able to put into this, but it's a good start. And what I can do, let's give myself a little bit more blood. What I can do is I can bring over hostile mobs, and that will do even better, because I remember the numbers is a villager will give you 2,000 LP, a passive mob will give you 250, and a hostile mob will give you 500. So we keep bringing hostile mobs over here, and I'll be able to show this off as soon as I find another one. Okay, I seem to have pissed off a few Endermen. That's okay. This should be useful to me. Run through my house because they can't go through here until they teleport. That should be fantastic, actually. Let's get them over here. I've got to get them right up against the altar to get them to sacrifice them. See, that just killed him in one shot. Ah, God. Okay, 3 of them are trapped. Ah! Okay, that's good. That's good. Here, come on, buddy. Come on. Ah, back. Ah! Ah, got him. Ah, screw you. Alright. As you can see, the sacrificing works very well. It gives me the blood that I need. It's filling this up nicely. If I... Ooh, ah! Kill him. Alright, good. So we see I had 250 in there. Or 2,500 in there. And I right-click again. I have 3,000. So yeah, any hostile mob, even the bigger mobs... God, that is annoying. Noisy and spirally and crap. Sorry about all that. So yeah, as you can see, I put all of that essence in, or all of that blood in there. It's pretty full up, and I've got 3,250. You know what? Actually, now that I look at that little container on the left side, I might only have capped up to 5,000. I'm gonna give myself a couple hits on the old blood. Yeah, I think it's 5,000 is my cap rather than 25. I think that's the tier 3 jumps you up to like 25,000. But yeah, so I think that's pretty good. Good place to end with blood magic. I apologize if it seemed a little underwhelming what I was going to do for blood magic, but I wanted to keep it basic with all of the stuff that I was doing with Ars Magica 2. I'll work more on blood magic on the next episode and give Ars Magica 2 a little bit of a break when it comes to crafting, because since we've already shown off the main points of spell crafting, the only thing I can show off right now is maybe making a new obelisk or a new chalk, and maybe upgrading the magic, the altar itself. But we'll work on that in a little bit. Thank you all for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. And if you all have any ideas for any kind of spell combinations that I could make with Ars Magica, please do not hesitate to throw them into the comment section. I'd love to read them. I love to see the things that other people could come up with. I mean, I've got to say this shrink heal spell is the coolest thing ever. I love it so much. I mean, I can just shrink, get away from my enemies, and let's pretend I'm on a mountain or something and I'm fighting rooftop style, and oh god, they're gonna get me. Shrink off and woo! Bam. Perfect. I mean, that is the greatest thing ever. Alright, well, yeah, like I said, thank you all for watching. You all have a good day.